Here we are, the Dunbar Academy mailbag, and yet another question. This one from Natalie. My dog is obsessed with food, so that's what I usually use. But I would really like to be able to rely less on food and have other high-value reinforcers available. She likes chasing and chewing toys, and she really likes me chasing her when she has a toy in her mouth. However, toys don't work well as reinforcers. Toys don't work well as reinforcers when there are distractions nearby. Cars passing by. Be careful there. Don't want your dog off leash with cars passing by. Also, when she chases and catches a toy, then she usually doesn't want to return it to me, so I can throw it again. I don't understand why, because I never took a toy away from her mouth by force, and when she gives a toy back to me, I always either throw it again or give her a treat. No question. So that's a nice little story, Natalie. I would ask questions. Interesting. Food works really well, but we don't want to use it. I would ask a question. I like using food because it's very effective, but how can I phase out the reliance on food? The toy doesn't work that well around distractions, but we want to use it. So my question would be, how can I teach my dog that the toy is the biggest reward in the world? Okay? And how can I teach my dog to give it back to me when she has it? So first of all, the phasing out food we've answered before, and we'll be answering over and over again. So let's turn the toy into just the sun and the stars for this dog. Regardless of how the dog feels about the toy as a primary reinforcer, we're going to turn it into a mega secondary. So here's the routine. Indoors, before anything good happens, any activity this dog likes, you petting it, patting it, stroking it, giving it a tummy rub, getting on the couch, giving it a piece of kibble, playing tug, or letting it off leash to sniff other dogs once we get outside or in your yard, in the training process. Before anything good in life, the dog has to sit, take the toy, give you the toy back, give it a treat, and then you say on the couch. Sit, take the toy, give the toy back, give a treat, and then you throw the toy as a reward. Okay, what we're doing here is the routine is sit, take the toy, exchange it for the treat, and then the real good stuff in life happens, whatever that is. You should have a top 10 list for your dog on the fridge. What we're doing is amping up the treat as a mega secondary reinforcer and the toy as a mega tertiary reinforcer, because it's not what they are, it's what they represent. What they represent is, if I take this toy in my mouth, good stuff happens. So that now gives it much more power when competing with distractions. And also, we've nipped the problem in the bud of the dog not wanting to give it back. Okay? So that's how you amp up a toy, so it now comes a really big reward. And I like tug toys. Tennis balls are good, but of course other dogs think they're theirs and may go after them. But a tug toy you keep in your hand, and you can bring it out if you want the dog's focus, especially if you've amped it up as a mega secondary or tertiary. You pull it out, take 2 steps back, the dog turns around, sits, looks up at you. Okay? You can then give it to the dog as a huge reward or to keep its focus. Then we can have a little game of tug. So that's how we play with toys. But I wouldn't just rely on the dog saying, oh yeah, he likes fetch or he likes tug. You train the dog that fetch is everything. You train the dog that tug is everything. Another game that you mentioned here is she likes chasing you with a toy in her mouth. Yeah, it's probably why, if I may use that word, dogs like keep away. Now, keep away irritates owners, but essentially it's the game they enjoy the most. And one of the things I like doing is taking the behavior problems we have. Well, we call them behavior problems. The dog calls them my favorite activities, like jumping up, pulling on leash, and running away from my owner. Putting it on cue and then you yo-yo it with what you want. So in this case, running away from you, what you want is the dog to come. So you're going to put running away or tag on cue. So the way I used to do that with Dune is I would call him, have him sit, give him the toy, tapping on the head saying tag, and then I'd chase him all over the house. Periodically I stand still, the game ends, and I say come here. The only way to reactivate me, his chaser now, is if he comes and sits on a single command. So if I have to call him twice, well then he has to repeat the recall. I step back again till I say Dune come, and he comes and sits on a single command. I say good dog. I take the toy from him, thank you. Off, I give it back, take it, tag, and I chase him again. So now we take the problem, turn it into a reward. Okay, so we have three really important issues I've talked about here with this, really nice story, Natalie. There weren't too many questions there, but I asked them for you. Is one, amping up a toy, even if it already has primary reinforcing value, amping it up as a secondary reinforcer. At the same time, teaching the token system, give back the toy, and you get a big reward, which are all these things you like doing. Using the toy for focus, a stimulus blocker, pulling it out now, and putting the problem on cue, running away from you, playing keep away, so you can now yo-yo, come here, tag, come here, come tag. So now tag, you chasing the dog, becomes the reward for the dog coming when called. When you do this right, like a lot of people say who are training sniffer dogs, the toy becomes everything, everything. The dog is so hooked on his toy, they will do anything to just play tug or fetch. And that's what you want, because out there in the real world, especially when there's cars, and the dog's off leash, no. You need something that's powerful. And if you are around cars, I keep the dog on leash. So thank you very much for the question.
Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to learn more, make sure you visit dunbaracademy.com and check out our selection of free dog training and behavior courses. If you'd rather watch some more videos here on YouTube, click right over here or here. And if you want to watch our new videos as we post them, click here to subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell.